Welcome back. In this explainer, part 14 of our series, we're making a big shift. We've talked a lot about what can go wrong with AI, but now we're going to focus on the big question. What do we actually do about it? We're going to break down how the most sophisticated organizations build their defenses against AI risk using a powerful strategy called defense in depth. Let's dive right in. Okay, first, our standard disclaimer. This is part 14 of a 15-part overview based on the comprehensive research report, A Stakeholder's Guide to Assessing an Organization's AI Readiness, Governance, and Risk Mitigation Strategies by Virtualization Options LLC. Now, as you'd expect, we're only scratching the surface of what's in the full report. And of course, this isn't legal, financial, or investment advice, and it doesn't come with any warranty, expressed or implied. So let's start with the most fundamental question, the one that every single investor, regulator, and board member really should be asking. Is it even possible to make an AI system 100% safe? The short answer is a hard no. And you know what? That's not a failure. It's just reality. The most mature organizations out there know that chasing perfection is a fool's errand. The real goal, the achievable goal, is resilience. And the strategy to get there is called defense in depth. So over the next few minutes, we're going to build this defensive fortress together, layer by layer. We'll start by just accepting that risk is inevitable. From there, we'll build up our defenses with technical controls, add a layer of human oversight, and then wrap it all in a solid governance structure, which all comes together in the complete defense framework. The very first step, and it's a huge one, is a mindset shift. You have to move away from the impossible dream of eliminating risk and instead accept that it exists and focus all your energy on systematically mitigating it. And this, right here, perfectly illustrates that strategic thinking. It's not about building one giant, impenetrable wall. It's about creating a series of defenses, a series of tripwires and safety nets, so that if one layer fails, another one is right there to catch the problem. The goal is to bring that risk exposure down to a level that the organization has looked at and consciously accepted. Okay, let's move to our first layer. This is the absolute foundation of our entire defensive structure, the technical controls that are baked directly into the technology itself. Now look, these aren't just best practices. For any serious AI deployment, these are non-negotiable. We're talking about rigorous testing for weird edge cases, having dedicated red teams whose only job is to try and break the AI, and deploying new models gradually, maybe to small groups first. That's a technique called a canary deployment. And absolutely critical, you have to be able to spot problems in real time and have a big red undo button to roll things back instantly. Let's just double-click on that adversarial testing piece for a second. This is not your standard quality assurance. This is proactively hiring smart people to think like an attacker, to try to poison the data, to fool the algorithm, to find all those sneaky blind spots that standard tests will always miss. When you see a company doing this, it's a huge sign of a truly mature risk management culture. But here's the thing about technical controls. They will eventually run into a situation they weren't designed for. That is guaranteed. And that's exactly why we need our next layer of defense, a smart, engaged human who is ready to step in. This quote from the source report really gets to the heart of it. For any decision that truly matters, anything affecting someone's safety, their rights, or a big chunk of money, full automation is often just a sign of dangerous overconfidence. Human judgment isn't a bug in the system. It's a critical feature of a safe system. So, how does this actually work in practice? Well, there are basically three main models. You have human in the loop for the highest stakes stuff, where a person has to physically approve every single action. Then there's human on the loop, which is more like a supervisor, watching over a reliable system and only stepping in when something looks off. And finally, human in command, where the human is always the ultimate authority, kind of like a pilot using autopilot. Choosing the right model for the right level of risk, that's a key indicator of a company's governance maturity. Great tech and smart people are fantastic, but they're not enough without structure. And that brings us to our next layer, the organizational framework, the governance and operations that support everything else we've talked about. This is the stuff that prevents the really dumb, avoidable failures. It starts right at the top, with the board demanding accountability. It means putting together committees with people from legal, tech, and business to look at high-risk projects. And crucially, it means having a playbook ready before a failure happens and building a culture where any employee feels safe enough to raise the alarm without fear of punishment. Okay, so we've laid our foundation of technology, we've brought in our human safeguards, and we've built a strong organizational structure around it. Now, let's see how this all comes together. This is the key question for any stakeholder, right? How do all these individual pieces combine to form a strategy that is actually stronger than the sum of its parts? Here's how it all connects. You start with the technology. That's layer 1, your foundation. When it fails, layer 2, human oversight, is your backstop. Layer 3, governance, provides the rules and structure for both of them. But a truly mature strategy goes even further. It adds layer 4, a clear incident response plan for when a breach happens, and even a layer 5, which is financial protections like insurance as a final resort to manage the fallout. See? Each layer reinforces the others. And this quote from the report just hammers the point home perfectly. You cannot cherry-pick these layers. You can't just do the tech stuff and ignore the governance. A weakness in any one of these layers compromises the entire structure. Defense in depth is an all-or-nothing strategic commitment. But where do these systems actually fail most often? We tend to obsess over technical bugs or a person making a mistake. But the data shows the biggest root cause, more often than not, is actually a breakdown in governance, a lack of oversight, a failure of process, or a culture that just prioritizes speed over safety. So if you take one single thing away from this explainer, let it be this. Effective AI risk management is not a checklist you tick off one time. It's a living, breathing, resilient system. It's a strategic framework that's designed with the full expectation that parts of it will fail, ensuring the organization as a whole can absorb the shock and keep going. And that brings us to the final question, the one you should be asking. As you evaluate your next investment, your next acquisition, or your next big business partnership, don't just ask what their cool AI can do. Ask them how they've built their defenses in depth. I promise you, their answer will tell you everything you need to know about their readiness for the future.